Let's hit it. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You are listening to Bras, Panties, and Sports. It's NFL week number 6. And there are more questions. I'm Spitface. Please welcome our host, the First Lady of Sports Talk, Cheryl Smith. How's it going in South Florida this morning, First Lady?
It's going. You talking about questions. My goodness, last week in week 5, there were a lot of upsets and there was a lot of confusing scores. I'll tell you, you talking about questions. Yes, there's a lot of questions in the NFL.
I said that this was going to be a topsy-turvy, wild year that folks, ain't nobody guaranteed of nothing. But you really ain't guaranteed of nothing with the Yankees. First Lady, it looks like the Yankees got knocked out.
Yeah, I watched the game last night. Yes. You know what? The problem with the Yankees, they're a regular season team. They can't do anything in the playoffs, and that's what happens. I mean, Aaron Judge had a very good postseason, but they just couldn't hit any home runs or timely hits. Left too many people on base. That's what the problem was.
You said they were stranding folks left and right on the base. Okay. All right. Okay. All right, you Yankee fans. Maybe next year. Okay, First Lady, this week on Shout Out. Well, also, First Lady, there was a lot of talk about Big Bill. That Big Bill might have been ready to say, this college thing, I thought it would work out, but you know what? I'm going to go ahead and quit while I'm behind. And he just made an announcement that he reconfirmed his commitment to UNC football. And I don't know I think that program got a long way to go. Whoever, is dealing with it. So I think they should just stick with B.
Yeah, he had to suspend one of his coaches because he was giving sideline passes to some of the players. I mean, what's going on there? Bill doesn't have any control over that program. I don't know. It's a different ball game when you're talking about in the college game. Different ball game.
Yeah, well, we'll see if Bill is a quick learner. All right, First Lady, this week on Shout Out, we have performances from Ro-Lew. Will he find his shining star or get the cold feel of the mute button? First Lady, we're ready. What you saying?
Each week, we try to figure out what is going on in the sports world. Not the plays of the week, more like the players of the week. Are they trying to tell us something? So we ask, what you saying? Fly, little birdie, fly. Time keeps on slipping into the future. Time keeps on slipping into the future. So I want to fly like an eagle to the sea. Fly like an eagle, let the spirit carry me. I want to fly right into the future. The little birdies, known as Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, wish they could fly far, far away from another one-score loss. The Jacksonville Jaguars beat the Chiefs at their own game by winning with seconds left on the clock, 31-28. Has Lady Luck turned her back on Patrick? Does Kelsey need to move on and become a full-time Swiftie? Does Andy Reid need to make less commercials and concentrate on a rebuild? Is the rest of the NFL no longer scared of the Chiefs? Will they make the playoffs? George Foreman, Marvelous Marvin Hagler, both rest in peace. Bernard Hopkins, Roy Jones Jr., and the Steve Miller Band are asking, what you saying? Spitface, the KC Chiefs dominance is over. Now, even though they went to the Super Bowl last season, this team and Patrick Mahomes are not the same when they dominate the league very early in his career. I mean, last year their defense dominated more than their offense. The offense was just enough to get them to the big dance. Now, Mahomes was a game manager last season. However, this season, Mahomes is trying to be that wizard again that he previously was when he took over for Alex Smith in 2018. You know, when he first came on the scene, Mahomes was that wizard. You know, he was spectacular. Now he's just a game manager again. Now, but he was trying to be spectacular this year. So the thing, though, that's so interesting to me for the Chiefs, statistically, they're at the top 10 in both offense and defense. However, the eye test doesn't show that. Their defense doesn't look that stellar. You know, it just shows you in that game against the Jaguars, after they came down and scored, they were ahead of the Jaguars with, so many seconds left in the game, or minutes. I forgot the time frame. It was like a minute and a half, I think, was left in the game. And what happened was the kicker, who has not been that great this season for the Chiefs, he didn't get the ball past the 20-yard line mark, which now, if you don't do that, the ball will be brought to the 40-yard line. So he put them at a disadvantage. And what happened was they had to do, the Jaguars had to do, really, they could have just tied the score. No, they had to score a touchdown. And they came down, and what they did, they scored a touchdown. And the defense just couldn't hold them. So it was kind of weird with the defense. That's why I was shocked to find out that they were in the top 10 in defense in all categories. But they're not playing like a top 10 defense. And last year, the Chiefs won 11 games by a one-score margin. 11 games. That's a lot of games. So like you said, yeah, the Jaguars took the script on them. But, yes, Lady Luck has turned her back on Mahomes and the Chiefs. Definitely have turned her back on them. And Travis Kelce is definitely playing his last season. It is obvious that he has lost a step or two. And he will become a full-time Swiftie at the end of the season, because I just don't see them re-signing Travis Kelce, and I don't see him continuing on. He's already, engaged to get married, so he is definitely going to be a full-time Swiftie. And as far as Andy Reid, it seems to me, Spitface, that his play calling has been very pedestrian. And I really wonder if those spectacular plays that we're so accustomed to the Chiefs having were really actually, they were designed by Eric Bieniemy. I mean, since Eric Bieniemy left, the offense has been very lackluster. And I know Andy Reid used to call the plays when he was there, but it's interesting that these play callings are not the same. So obviously Eric Bieniemy had a lot of say in what they called. And I remember he had designed one play. I don't know if you remember that time. I forgot who they were. They were at in the red zone, and they all did a 360, and then they scored a touchdown. And that was a play that Eric Bieniemy calls. That's what I'm saying. These calls are not elaborate the way they used to be running their offense. So I really think, yes, since this offense has not been the same, even though they're in the top 10 of offense, like I said, it just doesn't look like it. But Reid definitely needs to pay more attention to developing a better offense and a defense instead of acting in his commercials. Overall, the Chiefs are still capable of winning their division and making the playoffs, especially since the Broncos and the Chargers, they're only 3-2. The Chiefs are 2-3. So, it's clearly not out of reach for them to still make that playoffs or even win their division. But Chiefs' dominance is no longer there, and teams are not scared of them. They're not even afraid of Mahomes anymore because, like I said, Mahomes has not been as spectacular as he was. So, the Chiefs, the dominance of the Chiefs is in question, and teams are definitely not scared of them. They're not. And but they got to do some soul searching, and I still think that they can overcome all these problems that they're having. But I really think it needs to start with that defense. That defense is just not playing well. They just can't contain people, and especially since, like I said, the offense has been very pedestrian. That defense needs to come through, and these teams are struggling right now, especially in that. I mean, the teams that we really thought that were going to do something, the Ravens, and we'll talk about them later. Even the Chargers are 3-2. So they've lost 2 straight games. So, it's still out there. It's like you said, it's very wacky, confusing, weird NFL season so far. But spit face, I still believe in the Kansas City Chiefs. They're going to turn this around. All right, what you saying about this?
Well, one thing that is definitely a possibility is the Chiefs turning it around, because they do have players, and they do have Mahomes, and they do have Andy Reid, but it ain't gonna be a cakewalk, and that's obvious. It's not. But I want people to remember that the New England Patriots did not go to the Super Bowl every year. There were years that they did not go. Other teams went. So, you can have a dominating team, and every team will have a period where they have to do, I won't say a rebuild, like starting over from scratch, but they have to do a mini rebuild where they restructure, redesign, because teams eventually figure you out. And even with great talent, once they figure you out and they're no longer scared of you, you start getting beat. And you get beat more than you're used to getting beat. And it becomes a little bit harder to duplicate your success. And that's pretty much how it goes. KC has been dominating. They've been the go-to. And this year is the year of some turbulence. And fortunately for them, it's not turbulence due to injury. Like Mahomes didn't get hurt. Their top players are knocked out for the season. It's a matter of the coaching and the players have to adjust that, it's a new game. Folks done caught on, we got to play a different way. And Andy Reid, if any coach can figure it out and right the ship, it's Andy Reid. It's Andy Reid. The man he will right the ship. It's not even so much Mahomes. It's that, Mahomes is a nice security blanket, but everybody else got to do their part. The special teams, and as First Lady said, the defense. So now is the time when Andy Reid has to slip into his sketches and and come up with something. And First Lady, you made an interesting point. Eric left and the play calling changed. And Mahomes became, it's kind of hard to say that Mahomes became a game manager because he, still darting, little elf running around in the backfield. He and then throwing for 40 yards. He still does that. But that's obviously not going to win the games this season because folks have caught on. Their defense has got a little bit better at containing Mahomes. So the designs have to be a little bit better to break him free when needed. So, First Lady, I think it's going to be a long season. And, someone was saying that the Chargers needed to make a trade to get Alvin Kamara. And I'm going, they might just need that. But it's going to be some surprises. And I wouldn't be surprised if after all is said and done, the Chiefs end up winning the division. But I don't think that they're going back to the Super Bowl this year. That I don't think is going to happen, First Lady. So that's what I'm saying. I can see, it's going to be tough, to go to the Super Bowl back this year again. But you know what? I don't know. I really don't know because anything is possible the way this NFL season has been.
So, I mean, anything is possible. I mean, I don't know what dominant teams are there still in the AFC. You have the Bills.
The Bills.
But, huh?
I said the Bills.
Yeah, well, the Bills, but, they had a tough game this past week, too. If I'm not mistaken. No, the Bills lost. Remember, the Bills lost this. They're no more undefeated team. The Bills lost. The Eagles lost. So, I mean, the Bills still are dominant, but they did lose. All right. So, like I said, the Chiefs. I'm not going to count the Chiefs. Like I said, I don't bet against Patrick Mahomes, but they definitely got to do some rearrangement, get that offense better, and definitely work on that defense. That's the problem to me. I'm shocked that they're still in the top 10 for offense and defense. It was mind-blowing to me. But anyway, all right, Spitface, over to you.
Yeah, that just says everybody else is that bad or that mediocre. Don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years, rocking my peers and putting suckers in fear, making the tears rain down like a monsoon. Listen to the bass go boom. Explosion, overpowering over the competition. I'm towering. Wrecking shop when I drop these lyrics that'll make you call the cops. Don't you dare stare. You better move. Don't ever compare me to the rest that all get sliced and diced. Competition paying the price. I'm going to knock you out, huh? Mama said knock you out, huh? And this ain't no Jeep commercial. We are talking about the knockout punch by the Texans to the Ravens. 44-10, and it wasn't that close. We ask again, is it time to stick a fork in the Ravens? Is that bird done? If the Ravens don't find a way to make the playoffs, will it be time for a rebuild, especially with the defense? The Ravens were basically playing with one arm tied behind their backs without Lamar. Was this win for the Texans more about them getting their mojo back or Lady Luck? Leroy Satchel-Paige, Walter Buck, Leonard, and James, my man, cool, Papa Bell. I ask you what you say. First Lady, the Texans need to win another game before anybody can say that they got their mojo back. A lot of it was they were lucky to play a Ravens team. One, they were lucky to play a Ravens team in October instead of in January. So that was one lucky thing for them. The second lucky thing was Lamar did not play. So that was number two lucky thing. The third lucky thing is that the Ravens aren't playing that good, especially on defense. A la giving up 44 points, even though you had a backup quarterback, Cooper Rush, at the hands. But the defense couldn't do anything to give him a chance. Now, given the way the standings are, the Ravens could actually end up winning this is just how wacky this season is. The Ravens could actually turn things around and end up winning their division. They could. With the Steelers, right now, with the Steelers, Cincinnati, everybody but Cleveland, who knows what the hell is going on in Cleveland. Cleveland don't know what's going on in Cleveland. So the Browns just out there, and so that only leaves the Steelers, the Bengals without their star quarterback, and so they still got a shot if they can turn it around. But First Lady, I think it's stick a fork time in Ravens, and it's almost like similar to the Chiefs situation. People, the other teams have caught up to them, and Derrick Henry isn't the Derrick Henry of last season. He's the Derrick Henry of this season, and I'll just say the Derrick Henry of this season, fumbling, bumbling, stumbling, and there's just a big question mark. So is it the line? Is it him? Is it the Ravens got a lot going on. Is it time for Harbaugh to move on? Now, I'm not saying get rid of them. Even if they have a poor season, I'm not saying get rid of them. But the question is there. Is it maybe it's just that time and that you need a whole fresh operation? But if anybody can turn it around, Andy Reid and Harbaugh can do that. So Harbaugh will have this team be competitive as the season goes on. But they got some holes and some things to work on that they might just win the division, but they won't go any further. First Lady, what you saying?
Well, it's all about Lamar Jackson's injury. I mean, even though before he was injured, he wasn't playing, the team didn't do well either. But since his injury, I mean, you're talking about you have to rely on Cooper Rush to come in and be his backup. And maybe they should have traded for Flacco again. Put Flacco back with the Ravens because so Cooper Rush didn't get the job done. I mean, the man had 3 interceptions in the game against the Texans. And you know what? I really thought they would rely on Derrick Henry's running. They didn't. He had 15 carries for only 33 yards. So Henry has been very, very, very disappointing this season. I think Father Time has already caught up with Derrick Henry. He only had one game where he was over 100 yards. And, with Cooper Rush as the quarterback, you would have thought they would have relied more on Henry, but they didn't. And, of course, that defense has not improved. They are still ranked 31st in total yards. They're ranked 26th in run and pass. They just, for some reason, that defense does not resemble a Ravens defense that we have been accustomed to seeing for years. And, of course, they still got key injuries. I mean, they got a lot of people out. Madupiki, I can't pronounce his Namdi, whatever. I can't remember. Madupi. They got a lot of different names. So anyway, he's out for the season. And Broderick Washington Jr. is out. The cornerbacks Marlon Humphrey and Chai Awazuzi, he's out. I mean, what more? And then they got Kyle Hamilton, the safety, Rokon Smith, linebacker, Ronnie Stanley, offensive tackle, and Patrick Ricard, the fullback. They're all questionable for this week. So they are hampered by injuries. Injuries are also playing a key role in why the Ravens are just not where they need to be. And, that loss against the Texans, I mean, we had talked about last week. We talked about it. We said if they lose that game, those 2 games they had coming up, the Texans and the Rams, we might as well stick a fork in them. That's what I'm saying. I think it's time. I mean, especially after that beatdown against the Texans. And, they're going to lose against the Rams. I don't see any reason why they should beat the Rams if they couldn't beat the Texans. So the Ravens are overcooked, and that fork is really deep, deep, deep in them. So I'm saying spit face, they are done. Because I just don't see them overcoming what's going on. They still got to face the Steelers twice. I mean, the Browns, again, Cleveland is not a bad team because the one thing about Cleveland, they have a great defense. And that defense will keep them in. And didn't look that Billing, what's his name, Gilbert? I always get this guy's name wrong. But anyway, their rookie quarterback, he looked pretty decent. So, I mean, I'm not going to say the Browns are a dump fire, but they are still good. They got the Packers to play, and they still got the Vikings. So I just don't see a way for the Ravens to make it to the playoffs. So if they don't make it to the playoffs, I don't think it's time to rebuild. I think it's time to plan for next season by continuing to lose and just say this season is over with and get a high draft pick in an area that you need, and it's probably going to be on the defensive end. And I just don't see a path for the Ravens to get to the playoffs. Because if they don't win the division, you have the Colts, you have the Chiefs still, you have the let's say the Bills win their division, So I don't think any other team in that division, in the Jets nor the Dolphins, are going to be in contention for a wild card. Okay, so let's just say that's not going to happen. So in the North Division, let's say if the Steelers win that division, you got the South Division. Even the Texans are. So I really look at it. The Texans and if the Colts win the South Division, you still got the Jaguars that's playing really well. So there's only what? There's three. Is there three wild card teams now, or is two? I always get there's three now, right? Three. I think there's three wild cards. Yeah, there's three. So I'm going to say it's a slim to none chance that the Ravens can make it to the playoffs at this point in time. Because they're going to lose against the Rams. So I just don't see them a path for them. And as far as the Jaguars, not the Jaguars, the Texans, yeah, they needed to win that game. They needed to get their mojo back because, as I indicated, it's not clear that they're going to win their division. They won that division for the last, 2 seasons, I believe. So the Jaguars and the Colts are at 4-1, and they are for real. I mean, like I said, Daniel Jones resurrected his career with the Colts. And, it was, people were shocked that the other quarterback, I forgot his name right now. Who was their quarterback? The other quarterback. I can't remember his name, but
for the Colts.
Yeah. Anyway, whatever. People were shocked that he didn't get the starting job. Now you know why Daniel Jones got the starting job. Look, he got that team 4-1, and Trevor Lawrence finally is playing well. So maybe it was a coaching change that they needed. Peterson needed to sit down, so they got their new coach. And what did he say? He said Duval. He said it wrong. Remember, he had the press conference and he said Duval wrong. That was funny. But anyway, so their coach, he's really instilled a culture in the Jaguars. They're playing real well. So they could make that. They could make one of those wild card teams, but they needed to play well. But right now, they're going to be freeze out of their division. But I think their mojo is back. I think they got sidetracked with, C.J. Stroud. And that offensive line was horrible. He just couldn't even get the ball to throw to anybody because of the offensive line. So maybe they took care of that offensive line. They got into those players and say they got to protect their quarterback. So anyway, like I said, the Ravens, man, the fork is really deep. It's done. They done spit face. They are done.
Well, yeah, one thing's for sure is that I don't see Lamar getting the MVP this year. I don't think we'll be debating. I don't think we'll be debating that this year. Oh, Lamar. No, that ain't gonna be no debate, First Lady. All right, First Lady, you had the last word. Please take us to break.
Stay tuned. Up next, we have a performance from Ro-Lew on Shout Out Part 1.
Welcome back. The music flows in from around the globe to get a shout out from the panel. First Lady, I can't wait to hear the music from Ro-Lew.
On Shout Out, we feature new independent artists who are looking to find their shining star. If we like what we hear, we'll give the track a shout out. If we don't like it, we hit the mute. On the first part of Shout Out, we are featuring music from Ro-Lew and his hit album, Bad Boy. I hope he ain't talking about P. Diddy. But anyway, they say Ro-Lew has... I'm sorry, P. Diddy. I didn't mean to say that. Okay. They say Ro-Lew been doing it since 1996. All right. All right, DJ, let's hear Ice Water.
like that one dude said. Rappers that stay in their hometown end up dead. I'm too smart, not trying to catch one to the head, cause certain have-nots tripping off something you said. What happened to humanity? Nowadays people care more about vanity, forgot about the simple pleasures, losing their sanity. Hypnotized by hatred, they don't want me to make it, but I'm self-sufficient. Been this way since 17 when I started this mission. They not biting off night crawlers, change your bait when you're fishing. I make it hard for you to hit me when I'm on the mount pitching. They call me ice water, I left them frozen to play. With the sidearm curve, got them swinging too late. I like to meditate, smoke weed, levitate, go to work, stack funds, get it straight. I like to hustle, but my hustle's legit. I don't even be fitted, but I feel I'm the shit. You can tell that it's me when you hear me spit. Organic hip-hop, block on the beat like a pit. Project. Black light make the beat and that's it. Now I'm live through the wire and you hear me spit. Another day on this earth is like a blessing. Anything can happen, live your life, no stressing. Life is predetermined by a higher power. We never know the day nor time of ours. Live life, life. I always listen to my elders. Artemis and Mumsy kept the family together. Strong black women from Mississippi, they tougher than leather. If you was slipping, they would tell you get your shit together. And how you living ain't right, and you can always do better. That was real shit. Tell you about yourself, real spit. If you seen you how they seen you, you would change and shit. And if you end up in jail, then you to blame and shit. Yo, that was cold as ice. I took heed to those words, let them mold my life. Learn to navigate the streets where the cold live tripe. You wouldn't know unless you knew that I rock the mic. I'm low key, I ride beats like BMX bike. I'm not a baller, to ball for me is like a feeling. Get your paycheck and you feel like you're winning. All my boys come with heat when we spittin' this venom. We only date girls that look good in the denim. When I walk down the street, it's to the beat, I got rhythm. We all live in the matrix, stuck in the struggle. We all trying to make it, going for what we know. Living in the bubble, what I know is how to hustle. Army does double, I'm skinny with core muscle. I figured out the puzzle, cause boy, no joke. I meditate, sit in the house and smoke. Put the pen to the pad and that's all she wrote. Come live on this mic, no sugar coat. Can I win one time until I do? I'ma keep spitting my rhyme, but when I do, man, it's over. I'm trading in my Dodge and I'm bringing back my Nova. Music is a language understood by all. I met many musicians, beat makers and all. It don't matter your color, music's universal. Let's have a jam session and do it like rehearsal. Not coming controversial, just spitting my game. Unorthodox flow, now you know in my name. Some do it for the money, others do it for fame. My rhymes are for the working class and it's not for no lame. You don't like the way I flow, well you know, keep scrolling. I'm machine gun mouth coming straight from Oakland, where they riding and smoking. Murder rate is no joking. You gotta stay woke, cause if you sleep you get smoked. And how many MCs must get this? Social media got MCs straight getting clipped. Keep my head on the swivel. Green light means go, everything is civil. Yellow light means slow.
Yes, and I like that one right there. That was another one from Ro-Lew and Black Light. I'm your main man, Champagne Greg. Continue to do what I do, what I'm doing. Till next time, peace.
All right. That was Ro-Lew. You know what, Spitface? I'm gonna shout it out. He got some skills with his rapping style. I like the comedy in the song a little bit, in the rap a little bit, you know, with the talking and everything. So I'm going to shout it out. You shout it out, or you're going to hit the mute.
Oh, yeah. No, the brother was too much fun to not shout him out. I mean, that was a fun track, and hey, he had some food for thought. I'll put it like that. So I'm shouting it out. I thought he was great.
All right. Okay. Yeah, he was quite interesting. All right, so on the Ro-Lew, he will be performing we'll have another performance from Ro-Lew on part 2 of Shout Out. But ready to perform now? Is that the sound of our favorite underwater friends? Is it time for Flip It?
What you see is water that deep, and we are swimmers, missing a world of wonder, flying under the sea.
All right, it's time for Flip It, while hosts defend the view and then flip the script and defend the opposing view. The New England Patriots have a 3-2 record, one game behind the Bills. At this point, are they pretenders or contenders? Defend, the Patriots are looking better, but they are still pretenders. First Lady, what the Patriots have going for them is that it's the early part of the season. That is the early part of the season. And most of the teams in the NFL are just finally, I'll just say, getting their acts together. And whether or not they're going to be a mediocre team, a poor team, a team that's moving up the ladder, or a team that's bound for the playoffs, everybody at the start of the season is over, and the real play is about to happen. Now, if I'm the Patriots fan, don't rest on your laurels that you one game behind the Bills, because the Bills are still the big dogs in the AFC East. And Miami looks shaky, real shaky. The Jets look shakier. And right now, the Patriots playing pretty good, but they will not survive the gauntlet. They will not, I'll say, they will not be able to kick the Bills to the curb and take over control of that division. That part ain't happening. So unless they find a way where they can actually compete with the Bills, and they haven't shown that yet, they're pretenders. They're pretenders. But they're young pretenders. And I'll say that they got the right coach to turn the team around, but they got a rookie quarterback and a long season ahead. They will prove to be pretenders. First Lady, defend. The season is still young, but these Patriots will prove to be pretenders.
Yeah, they're going to be pretenders because they are young. And the season is young. You know, they're playing well. Mike Vrabel at least have them looking better than they did last season. But is it really going to be enough regarding this division and the AFC conference, as we talked about? There's some teams that are there that are much better than the Patriots. I mean, the Patriots, they look good, but let's face it, this is a very young team. They don't really have that much talent on their team. Now, Drake May has played very serviceable as a quarterback. He looks a lot better than we thought he would. So, I mean, you got to give them a hand with that. They made the right decision in drafting him. The thing is, though, they're in a tough division because of the Bills. They're better than the Dolphins and they're better than the Jets. I mean, I give them that credit, but it's not going to be enough. I mean, the season is so early, like you said, Spitface. Teams are still figuring things out. And we have to say that the Patriots, for the several years since Tom Brady left, they haven't been good. So why would I think that they're going to be this turnaround team? They really don't have the talent right now to say that they can turn everything around to be really contenders. No, they don't have it. They're not true contenders at this point. The AFC and the competition, there's just too many teams that are much better than them, but they're moving in the right direction. So, I mean, I give them that thing that they're moving in the right direction. But, I mean, the team's history of not being contenders and winning and underperforming and not playing well, I mean, it's hard to change that, change the feeling about them. I mean, I just don't see if they're going to be a very competitive team. Once people start figuring out Drake May and they have video on him, things are going to be a little bit different for the Patriots moving forward. So, again, they're the great pretenders, but at least they look better than they did last year, Spitzy. That's all I'm saying.
All right. Okay. Well, we're going to flip the script. The Patriots have found their mojo. They are contenders. You know, First Lady, if you look at last season, you would say that for the Patriots to have a winning season, that would have been like a tremendous improvement. You know, like the Jets, you know, and Miami. But it looked like Miami was going to be at least a wild card or pushing the Bills to get that number one spot. And right now, if I had to pick a team, I'd pick the Patriots over Miami. Now, I don't think the Patriots will be able to knock off the big dog, but that wild card competition, they could be in. They could be in. If we look at the AFC and we look at where teams are, it is anybody's game right now. Right now, it's anybody. You know, the West. Will the Chargers win the West, or will KC? Will they crash and burn? You know, there's so many questions over in the AFC that it has the Patriots be contenders. And I say the main reason that they're contenders is the coach and their defense. Their defense is getting better, and they got the right coach to bring the right attitude to that team. And I say that they are contenders, and if you don't watch out for them, you will end up on the L column. So these teams, they need to watch out, because the Patriots will prove that they are no joke. You can't overlook them. And in a wild and woolly AFC, it's anybody's game. So they are contenders. First Lady defend. At this point, a game behind the division lead, they are contenders.
Well, yeah, they're contenders. You want to know why they're contenders? Because they've already defeated the Buffalo Bills. I mean, they won against the Buffalo Bills in that upset win, winning 23-20. That's the reason why they are contenders, because that's a very, very significant turning point for this team. They obviously are not going to beat the Bills for the East, AFC East. However, I think they will be able to get, like you said, Spitface, I think they can get a wild card spot. Like I said, with the Ravens falling, and like I said, they got 3 wild card spots. And I already stated that it's either going to be the Chiefs, either the Colts or the Jaguars, depending on who wins that division in the South. And then that third spot will go to the Patriots. Yes. And the reason why, as you said, Mike Vrabel has this team playing really well. So they are significantly improved from last season. And, again, Their quarterback, he has taken a big leap from last season to this season. He's shown that he can go down and do a winning drive. Drake May has definitely made very noticeable improvements. And also, you know who's back on top? Stephon Diggs. He is definitely back to the way he was when he was with the Bills. So with improvement with their receiving core with Stephon Diggs and the coaching of Mike Vrabel and the play of Drake May, yeah, this team definitely can get that wild card, and they are contenders. They shown that they are contenders. Like I said, winning that game against the Buffalo Bills was a big turning point for this team because it showed that they can go stand up against the top of the elite class, and they show where they are. And like you said, the defense is good. The offense is clicking. And as long as Drake May doesn't make those sophomore mistakes, like, you know, he had a lot of mistakes as a rookie, but as long as he can continue to improve and significantly improve, I don't see why the Patriots can't go to the playoffs. I mean, they got just as great as a chance as any other body on that in the AFC, as far as I'm concerned. And they, they got some good players on the team. I mean, they're not well-known players, but they're building in the right direction. And I just see that this team is definitely going to be contenders.
All right, first. Okay, all right. Well, with that said, First Lady, over to you for more.
The Chargers need a boost in their running game, and many are recommending that they make a trade for Alvin Kamara. Should they make a move? All right, Spitface defend. Pass on trading for Kamara. They need help on the offensive line. They need help on the offensive line. Defend.
All right, well, First Lady. Well, it's an intriguing move to get Kamara because he ain't going nowhere fast with the New Orleans Saints. The New Orleans Saints, it's like they need a whole bunch of help. And really what New Orleans needs to do is look at, you know what, we might as well start the rebuilding for next season now. So from the New Orleans standpoint, it would probably be a good move. But I'm going, wait, the Chargers, what they need to improve their running game is for that offensive line to step up. And the offensive line stepping up or concentrating on adding players to that offensive line who can be Pro Bowl linemen, that is more of a priority because that's gonna help out Herbert, in his protection, and it's gonna open some holes where whoever is the running back can produce the kind of yardage they need so that they can be an elite team and be knocking at that door for the Super Bowl. But right now, for what they would have to give up for Kamara, it's just not worth it. It's not worth it until you get that line together. So they need to pass on a trade with Kamara at this point. That's what I'm saying, First Lady.
Yes, they do need to pass. I agree with you on that. I mean, what's the point of giving up? I'm not sure what type of draft pick they would give up, probably a third or fourth for Kamara, and it's still not going to mean anything for the Chargers if they don't do anything with their offensive line. That's their problem. So, I mean, they need to build on that offense line. I'd rather them trade for if they could get an offensive tackle or somebody versus a running back. Because, Kamara, he signed a 2-year extension with the Saints, and his contract extends to 2026 through the 2026 season. I think he did it in 24. So, through the 2026 season. So by that time, maybe next year they can get Kamara and trade for him in the off season. But they need to work on fixing the offensive line. That's why Herbert really can't do too much behind there because he's getting sacked a lot. And that's some of the problems. That offensive line is not helping them. And everybody picked the Chargers to win that division, and the Chargers are 3-2. They've lost 2 consecutive games. They have not played well at all. And a lot of it is because of their offensive line. And, it's like you're getting you're getting the cart before the horse. I might be getting that backwards, but you need to get, you got to get the offensive line intact before you get the running back. And that's the problem, to get a high price running back and your offensive line is not going to be able to work with him to get him yardage. Doesn't make any sense. It's a waste of money, waste of a draft pick to trade for Kamara. So they need to get that offensive line together. And they, like I said, they're 3-2. They got a lot of work to do with this team, which we thought was going to be a great team and actually challenge for a Super Bowl. Right now, they're not challenging for anything. They try to win their division. And who knows? Like I said, the Chiefs are lurking. Even though they're 2-3, they're not too far behind the Chargers. So, no, that's not a good idea to trade for Kamara right now. They just got to wait and build that offensive line. All right, this is Flip It. So we're going to flip it. Spitface, defend. Kamara would bring the run game they need to get over the hump. Make the trade. Defend.
Yeah, First Lady, sometimes you need to bring in a star player and who can make a difference in the team. The offensive line for the Chargers, there isn't a team in the league, maybe other than the Buffalo Bills, that really has the offensive line the way that they want them to be and need to be. And so they're all working on that offensive line, they're trying to get the big boys up front who can open up some holes. The thing about Kamara is that right now, for where the Chargers are going, if they can have a breakout running back to complement Justin, that a lot of issues can be resolved on that line because Kamara could give him a little bit of a crack and he gone. So it would probably be a good move, and they could probably get him for a pretty good deal without having to give up a lot. So they might have to give up a draft pick. Okay. They're not giving up a 1, 2, or 3 for him. So they might have to give up a draft pick, and they'd have to take on his contract. But the benefits could be you got a breakout player who's subject to blow past the defender and be dancing in the end zone, and he can block and catch. So it would be a good move for them to bring that weapon into the fold of the Chargers. The receivers are fine. The running backs, they're doing decent. But if you can add that star back, to that lineup, that could be just what they need to get over the hump. That's what I'm saying, First Lady.
So, you say they need to add that star back. Yeah, they need to add that star back because right now, the running backs for the Chargers have been depleted because you have Amarion Hampton and Najee Harris, both of them on the IR list. So who do you have currently in your backup? Hassan Haskins and Kamani Vidal. I mean, they're not no-name running backs. So this is the reason why the Chargers need to make that trade for Alvin Kamara because they just got a shortage of running backs. I mean, they got to take people off the practice squad. And Kamara, I mean, he's definitely a two-way type of running back. Like you said, he's a pass catcher. He can catch the ball out the backfield. He's a great running back. You know, they can use both of his skills. The thing is, too, he brings leaders. No, he's been there. He brings leadership to the team. You know, and right now the Saints are, even though they won a game, they're still struggling. They're in a rebuild right now. So they can use some draft capital to build up their team. And the Chargers need help in the running back. They need serious help. They need help in a big time way. Because I'm sorry, the two that they have now, they ain't cutting it. They're not cutting it for the Chargers. So they got to make a push to win this division. When you have the Kansas City Chiefs at a 2-3 struggling, the Chargers got to lead. They got to take charge of this division. So they got to do everything they need to do to win their division so they don't have to play in that wild card game because they always lose. They always lose in the playoffs. That's their problem. They make it to the playoffs, but they lose. So they need a good running back to help them to do play action for Herbert. And, so Kamara is it. And, again, the Saints are willing probably to move Kamara off of that. They got a hefty salary, and they're willing to probably move him to get rebuild help with draft picks. So, they got to do it now. That'll get them over the hump as far as hoping to win their division. But they definitely need a running game. They've always needed a running game. That was one of their problems. And unfortunately, they got two good running backs that are on the IR list. So, no, definitely got to do it. All right, Spitface, please take us to break.
On the other side of the break, we have another performance from Ro-Lew on Shout Out Part 2. Please keep your ears glued to those speakers.
Welcome back. The music flows from around the globe to get a shout out from the crew. Spitface, over to you.
All right. We got another track from Ro-Lew. And on the second part of shout out, we are featuring another track from Ro-Lew. Let's hear My Head Underwater. Oh, man. My head's underwater. So it's more than one head. DJ Ro.
Shattered fragments of memories. No hashtags, just names in parentheses of those past who lived fast, but since crashed. Didn't have a chance to cry, going in the flash. Only doing wrong when it's right. Trying to make a living, yet stuck in the fight. I say thanks if you're giving, trying to taste life's nectar. Though they giving lemons, we must stand united. You can't win if there's division. Yes, my lyrics cause incisions in your mainframe. Got them taking penitentiary chances just to maintain. Use your brain, make money, that's the same thing. Put it in the bank, let it stack, don't play the blame game.
My head's underwater, but I'm feeling fine.
Rolling through the hood, windows on 10, I have my blinds. Cats on the corner throwing gang signs. Call me Sean Kemp, hard in the paint, major hang time. Smash to LA, doing 80 on the grapevine. Conversate with my girl on FaceTime. Luger straight to the point, no need to waste time. Time is money, money is time. I put a lot of thought in when I'm writing this rhyme. You must understand, I'm a son of God, a mere mortal man down to earth. Like I said before, I smoke with my fans. Rainy Smurfs in the land of milk and honey, trying to milk it for what it's worth. Oh, high player with freak, with girls, house with Smurf, Murph, marinate the putty tat, hit it and disperse. First things first, gotta beat Rose's verse. If you haven't noticed, Ro-Lew hasn't cursed. I will put you on the song, but 5,000 for a verse. No guarantee I'll make my money back. Now tell me what's worse. People been stealing Ro-Lew tapes since 9-6. Got a cult following, some males and some chicks. They listen to the song, reflecting that shit. Let it sink in, now your mind has nourishment. My head's underwater, but I'm feeling fine. Ro-Lew in the jump out boys from the same cloth. 808s, crack your chest plate like a bad cough. Pretty hood girl, stomach firm, but that ass off. Roll his blood up, lean back, let's blast off. Headed back home, cross the Golden Gate. Mind elevate, full scheme seems to motivate. In a world that hate, pictures of food on the paper plate. Everybody ballin', that's a lie, cause the rent is late. Think about it, get yourself together, never too late. Shine like water in the sun, all love, no hate. My head's underwater, but I'm feeling fine. That was another one from Ro-Lew and Leisure Beats. I'm your main man, Champagne Greg, down here doing what I do when I do what I'm doing. I told you that boy was already ready. Hopefully you enjoy what you're hearing this evening. We're going to continue to do it like bowling and keep the ball rolling down here. Till next time, peace.
All right, that was Ro-Lew. My head's underwater. First lady, what's the verdict? Is my head's underwater getting a shout out or the mute button?
Well, when he was singing, it sounded like his head was underwater. I'm going to shout it out. I'm going to give it a shout out.
Yeah, I'm shouting it out. I thought he was kind of funny. The guy has a touch of humor to his music, so I'm rolling with it. All right. That is the end of shout out. You can check out Ro-Lew on the Old Grumpy Radio Network. If you would like to be heard or have any comments, please send your emails and tracks to talent@oldgrumpyradio.com. First lady, over to you.
All right, it's time for the NFL picks, week 6. And let's go over week 5 results. Man, oh man, it was not a good week, to say the least. All right, so this Matt, he led that week because he had 0 points, and that was the leader of the week. Spitface, you had a negative 500,000 points. I had a negative 100,000 points. I mean, we really didn't do well last week at all. So where do we stand right now? This is where we stand as of through week 5. Dizzy Mac is leading at a negative 150,000 points. Spitface, you have a negative 200,000 points. And I got a whopping negative 900,000 points. Woo! We need to do better in week 6. That's all I got to say. All right, let's get to the current week. All right, winners and losers, these are worth 50,000 points. Eagles versus those Giants. Spitface, they're playing in New Jersey, MetLife Stadium.
Well, I'm
rolling with the Eagles. All right. Dizzy Mac. I don't know if Dizzy Mac has given us his picks as of yet. I'll make sure we get them in. Spitface. Who you rolling with?
I'm going with the Eagles.
Yeah, the Eagles are going to be upset. All right, moving along. Broncos versus the Jets. Woo-wee. Spitface, who do you have?
You know, I go to Broncos are the better team, but I'm going to roll with the Jets. I think they might get their first win.
No, I thought they were going to get that win again. I went with the Jets for two straight games. I don't know if I want to, but I'm kind of leaning to them because they need a win. They need a win in a worse type of way. The Broncos, oh gosh. All right, I'm going to go with the Jets too. I don't know why, but they need a win. All right, Rams versus the Ravens. I'm definitely going with the Rams. I already said that. The Rams are going to win. Spitface, who do you have?
Rams.
Cowboys versus the Panthers. Spitface, who do you have?
You know, I'm like wondering. Let's see. The Cowboys are so gosh darn, unpredictable, and the Panthers should be in a deep hole, but it's like let me break out my coin. Let me just flip the coin and see what happens, But I'm gonna go ahead and roll with the Cowboys.
Okay.
Dak is playing out of his mind. So.
Okay, you go with the Cowboys. All right, I'm going with the Panthers. Let me tell you the reason why. Because we expect the Cowboys to win, and every time we expect the Cowboys to win, they do something opposite, and that's why I'm going with the Panthers. All right, Cardinals versus the Colts. Man, oh man. Actually, I don't think what's his name is playing. I don't think Kyler is playing. I think Kyler is injured, but it didn't matter if he was injured or not. I'm gonna go with the Colts because they just. I couldn't believe how they lost that game. Did you see that play? Two bonehead plays in the same game, and you would think that you saw it the week before that you would keep the ball in your hand before you get across the touchdown line. Come on, man! It's for them to intercept the ball, fumble the ball, and kick the ball into the touchdown zone, and the other team falls on the ball and gets a score. I don't think we'll ever see that again in lifetime. Anyway, the Cardinals find ways of losing. It's unbelievable. I'm going with the Colts. Spitface, who are you going with?
The Colts.
It's unbelievable how they... Oh, my goodness. And, that coach got fined $100,000 for touching his player, the one who lost that ball. So he got fined. All right. Seahawks versus the Jaguars. Man, Spitface, who are you going with?
Jaguars on a roll.
Yeah.
With them.
I'm going with the Seahawks. I went with them. They lost. They lost to the Jags, right?
Wait, what was that?
No. The Jaguars beat the Seahawks lost. They lost on the last second. I forgot who Tampa Bay. They lost to Tampa Bay. So I'm going with the Seahawks. You going with the Jaguars? No, I don't know if I really believe in them. All right, Titans versus the Raiders. Man, this is the game of losers. Last week, and I know we got this coming up on the push, whatever, Geno Smith. What is going on with Geno Smith and his ability to pass the ball? Here we thought he was not going to have any interceptions. The man had 2 interceptions last week, 3 the week before. My goodness gracious. But I'm going to go with the Raiders. They're home. I'm going to go with the Raiders. They need a win. Titans came back and won that game, but I'm going to go with the Raiders. Who do you have, Spitface?
The Raiders just so darn whack. I'm going to roll with the Titans. I'm going to roll the dice on the Titans.
Okay. Next good game, 49ers versus the Buccaneers. Spitface, who do you have?
I'm going with my boy. We going with the Buccaneers.
Mm-hmm. I've been rooting against the Buccaneers, and they always win. They got a quarterback controversy in the they want Mac Jones to stay as the quarterback versus Purdy. So I don't know. You know what? I'm gonna go with the Buccaneers. I bet you the time I pick the Buccaneers to lose, because I think they can lose. All right, Lions versus the Chiefs. All right, well, I'm gonna go with the Chiefs. I think they're gonna tame them Lions. So I'm going with the Chiefs. Spitface, who are you going with?
I'm going with Motor City. Rolling with the Lions.
Rolling with the Lions. All right. Bills versus the Falcons. Spitface, who do you have?
Bills are not losing 2 in a row. I'm rolling with them there Bills.
Yeah, Bills are not losing 2 in a row. I agree with you on that. All right. Moving along. Bears versus the Commanders. I am going with the Commanders. Spitface, who do you have?
I'm going to roll with the Bears for the upset.
Really?
Okay. Actually, it wouldn't be an upset, but I'm going to roll with it.
It wouldn't be an upset, you said?
Well, I don't think it. Well, the Commanders have a better record, but they are not like leading their conference. Mm-hmm. Well, let's see. They're right behind the Eagles. They're right behind. They're doing better
behind the Eagles. I mean, they're playing the Eagles. They're in the Eagles conference. So they're just one game behind. But I'm going to still roll them there Bears. I'm going to roll with them for the upset. Okay. All right. So the next section is over, under, and push. These are for 100,000 points. And, man, did we do horrible on those. But anyway, Trevor Lawrence, 2 passing touchdowns. Spitface, what are you going with?
Oh, I'm going with over.
I'm going to go, they're playing the Seahawks. I don't know. I can't remember what the Seahawks defense is like. No, because I'm gonna say push. I think Trevor Lawrence. I'm gonna say push. Baker Mayfield, 2 passing touchdowns. I'm gonna go. Let me see again. They're playing the 49ers. But Baker Mayfield's been hot, so I'm gonna go over. I think he'll get 3. Spitface.
I'm going with over.
All right. Geno Smith. Geno. Last week I said there's no way you're going to have any interceptions, and you had 3 the previous week, and then you come back with 2 the next week. So I'm going to say a push for 1 interception. I'm going with push. Spitface, what are you going with?
I'm going with under.
We both went with under last week, and he didn't disappoint. He got 2. So anyway, I'm going to say he's going 3, 2, 1. Push. I'm going with push. All right, Jared Goff, 2 touchdowns. Spitface, what you going with?
I'm going with over.
2 touchdowns. So it's 2 touchdowns, so it could be running touchdowns too, because we didn't say 2 passing, it's just 2 touchdowns, period. It could be passing or running. I'm going to push Patrick Mahomes, 3 touchdowns, and this is combined. So you mean, so that was confusing. You said combined. You mean running and passing, right?
Yep.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to say push. What do you have, Spitface?
Against that Detroit defense. I think I'm going to roll with a push.
All right. Bijan Robinson. That's Atlanta, right? He's for the Atlanta Hawks. All right. Spitfit. Bijan Robinson, 100 yards, rushing yards.
You know, I'm looking at that Bills defense, and they can be tough, so I'm going to go with an over.
All right. So, no, I'm gonna go with under. He's only had one rushing, 100-yard rushing so far, and that was against Minnesota. So he's been hovering around. Now I'm gonna go with under. I'm definitely going with under. Chiefs Lions, 50 combined points. I'm gonna say over. I think that's gonna be a high octane game. Spit face. Over or under?
I think I'm going to roll with you with that over.
Okay. Well, I hope we sure do better than we did last week. 16 items, I only had 2 right. I had none of the games right. I had the 2 items were on the over-under push. None of them, I picked not one winner last week. That's how bad it was for me. But anyway, all right. All right, we'll see how we do next week. And, like I said, it's been crazy this football season. So we'll see how we do. All right, Spitface. What is your top story to watch this week?
My top story to watch is Shedeur Sanders and his spot on the Browns depth chart. Now, right now, he should be number 2, but they haven't really made it official. And after Sunday's game, I want to see where he ends up.
To me, there should be no question. He should be the next one. I mean, they're talking about bringing what's his name? Oh Lord, I forgot. I heard his name this morning. He was on the practice squad. But I can't think of his name right now. Bring him in to possibly go over Shedeur Sanders. That would be an insult for Shedeur Sanders if he was brought in. I can't remember his name, but anyway, it's sad. But anyway, my top story to watch is who's going to be in these conference finals for the Major League Baseball. We got a game 5, and right now we already know the Yankees are out. And right, the Yankees were the first team to be out. I think the Dodgers. The Dodgers are up 2-1. Brewers are up 2-1, but the Yankees are out of it. Mariners, Tigers are 2-2. So we still haven't decided who's going to be in the conference finals before they go to the World Series. So baseball season is still exciting. I mean, I've been watching the games. The games have been really exciting. So we'll see how Major League Baseball plays out. All right. Check out our current and previous episodes at BrasPantiesAndSports.com. This is Cheryl Smith, the First Lady of Sports Talk, and Spitface. You have been listening to Bras, Panties, and Sports. See you next week.